And welcome back to another Patreon replay analysis. Planned this exciting intro and can't even hit it. We're back with another one. Today we got GoBlueMason20. For those who don't know, the man, the myth, the legend himself, he is one of the longest standing, if not the longest standing supporter, listener, whatever you want to call him, of the ASAP Weekly Rocket League podcast. Truly one of the foundational members of the massive community we have now built, the incredibly tight community we've now built. I would do anything for this man at this point. He's always been patient with me. He's been through me with in many of my tiers of coaching, even when I've been really busy and late and delayed. And so, of course, his replacements would be one of the ones that gets delayed. I love you. I love you so much. Go Blue Buddy. You are everything we need for this podcast. You're the fan. That's someone who does these kind of things, dreams of. So big ups to you. Big appreciate. Always tons of love on my stream, on the podcast, everything. He's been a guest on the podcast. We just adore this man. So I'm very thankful that he's back supporting me, back playing the game a little more. I know life got busy when he had some family things, positive things. So we always wish him all the best, and I'm excited to get into this today. This is the first ones replay I'll be doing in my new Patreon replay analysis series. For context, I'm a C3-ish highest ones player. I also have not played in 2-3 seasons. So luckily, that's why I haven't really grinded. So I am at least aware enough of what are mistakes, what things look like, and so on. However, obviously, I'm not as good as it's going to get. So I appreciate GoBlue giving me this chance. We'll see how I do, how I feel. But yeah, his time has started. So we're going to hop on in. We're going to break it down as we normally do. He titled this his name and then the slow lad, so clearly he's not feeling good about his speed, so we'll definitely identify that. I don't know what his ones rank is, however I do know he's in the diamond area in terms of ranks. So because I know when we started way back in July, I think, when I met him and was doing a little bit of coaching of 2019, he was plat, so I think he's in the diamond area now. But yeah, I'm super excited to hop on in, so let's give this a watch. Let's see what we find and go from there. So let's turn up not music, but the volume a little bit. So good kickoff. I always like going back because one's kickoffs are just everything, right? So you see he does a safe kickoff, doesn't diagonal flips, front flips, not a huge deal. I'm on board with it as long as you feel like you're playing safe, then I'm good. Good patience from him there. Those are always tricky. In these situations, what I tend to do is I tend to put myself, because as soon as you start getting a little higher, a player isn't taking this shot because there's no point. Because with the bounce where it currently is, all he's going to do, if he gets a perfect shot to the far left corner, it's going to go on that arco that I just had, and it's a very easy airlift for you. It's not a very intense scoring opportunity. Specifically, he's not shooting because you're sitting here and you're sitting on the backboard. At least he shouldn't be shooting. He chooses to. And so your positioning is perfect because you could just make an easy save and work this out. As you get a little higher, that's not going to happen anymore. I would never take this shot if I see that you're waiting there. I'm going to catch this, dribble this, flick this, do whatever I need to do to make this possible. So when I rotate into net on these kind of plays in one specifically, you came back and got the boost. I tend to put myself kind of out a little bit. So I'll go out to this boost, knowing full well that then if he takes it slow, I can be ready to go and then shadow, or I can go and challenge. Or if he ends up going for the boom, I'm still not too far out. I'm still kind of staying behind my line here so that I can get there, get up, make the save, do what I need to do. I tend to do that just so I can be as efficient as possible. It's a good habit to get into early. So it's something I'd really recommend here. Regardless, not going too deep into something that doesn't actually matter in this replay. He takes an easy shot on net. You play it safe and slow, which I love. Keep doing that. This is where I want to see a bit quicker ball straight cam usage. So right here, you should already be in straight cam. If you're not going to read this as soon as it's coming off the wall, at this point, I can tell you're trying to assess where he is. You can see right now you don't know where he is. You have no conception. You don't know if he's challenging. He could already be up to this ball for all you know. You have absolutely no concept as to where he is until now you go to straight cam. By the time you go to straight cam now, you could jump instantly, and he still is going to be waiting actively to jump up to this ball. And it's just going to be a 50 where you're going to do literally the exact same thing. So don't mind the trash circle. So that's a big part of this, right? Is that when you're challenging this now, you've created a 50 despite you being the one in control because you weren't gathering enough information quickly. If you saw that he wasn't going to this like right away, this is where if you went to straight cam, you could at least make that assessment earlier, get up much faster, and be probably meeting this ball while it's here kind of thing. And if you're good, you could be actually booming that to the opposite corner, booming it to the close corner, or if you're good enough, boom it on net, right? Like you're giving yourself more options. But as we go back and watch this one again, you'll see what I'm talking about. Is so when you get this big tip up, right now, you see by now he hasn't gone up. He could have now, but he still doesn't. And now it plays into a 50, which then you have to chase down, unfortunately, to the other end. So just ways to create a little more efficient scoring opportunities for you. This is a really good tell-all, and it's something I do a lot in ones, and actually a lot in twos. So right here, you choose to not challenge the ball. What he does in this moment should be a good guess as to what he's going to do for the rest of the game. Does he come in slowly and come in behind the ball here and then drift behind the ball to then start dribbling it out and make his play? Does he try to go full force of the ball to roll it up the wall so that then he can follow and go do his thing? Does he just boom it, hoping that it then rifles out and you're not there for it? This is how you can kind of tell a bit about a player on these kind of plays when you're not challenging but they feel like they're rushed, is a great way to kind of read it. So we watch him here, and he comes full force, rushes into that ball, hits it onto the corner. You play safe, so you go back, which is great because you're still feeling him out, still testing it. And then you see right away he doesn't challenge. So we know this is a player that panics but isn't confident, right? That's the main thing that we're seeing right now. He's not confident enough on his panic to do anything right there. That was I need to clear this ball right away and go back to net. Didn't think any further. So this is something you got to start abusing. So now you go for a shot attempt, almost tuck it to the top left. Great try. And it's where you want to start getting your pads on the way out. Or the full, beautiful, well done. But see how much space you're giving right now? So a big part of ones is always keeping pressure, right? Of whether you're the one attacking, not going all the way back to your run for boost because you're just being complacent. You're giving up pressure. When you're returning net like you're doing right now, not just driving right to net because now you're giving him all the plays. And see how you turn really quickly? That's what you should have done 10 years ago, right? You got to be quick on these kind of players and dominate them there so that you don't be you're now stuck on the backward with no boost, right? And this is a huge part about setting pace and setting tone in ones is you have all the control. So you take the shot, you know he's boostless. So he rushes this ball, doesn't get a boost. You still know he's boostless right now. You know that he can't do much. So right now, why are you not turning and making him think that he needs to make a quick play, right? When now instead, his little boostless bum can drive this all the way back into the wall. Unfortunately, you don't get a great clear, and now he has all the pressure on you instead, right? That's where you got to be having those turns. You always got to be assessing what is your teammate doing? What do they play like? What do they have? What are their resources? And so on. You see all these touches from him were these big, heavy touches almost every time. So clearly he doesn't like possession. He panics with possession, right? He doesn't want to keep it for too long. So even when you drive up here, I guarantee he jumps, and he does, right? So little things like this so that you got to be trying to read at the highest level at any level, but it'll help you at the highest level to slowly deteriorate your opponent on what they're doing. So here he booms this. You got it, right? And so now he'll fall this out and go for a beat. This is where you do have to be a little careful of as soon as I'll go a little earlier. This ball goes down, you get your boost. Right here, you got to think of the dangers here, right? So you're not winning this ball, right? Like you're nowhere close to this. And if he goes full speed from the corner here and up under this ball, the trajectory of the ball is going to be coming out most likely towards your net, maybe closer to the wall. So maybe like here, downfield, whatever that may be, right? And that's if he hits it full force. So at that point, where you are right now, you would be having to drive up and jump off the wall and meet it, which is not an easy task, and something I would literally tell you to never even try in ones because you don't have someone to support you there and you don't have a teammate to help you out. So right now is when you got to be facing backwards, getting ready to catch this and turn it back the other way because he either booms it, and if he doesn't, great, you now can turn around and challenge him if he doesn't, right? And so that's a huge part of ones, and something I've kind of been alluding to, and now I'll talk a bit more plainly about it, is your car direction at all times, right? Is that your car should be always facing the ball if you know you have control, right? So you should, like when I tell you to turn, you should be turning to then face the ball, make the play, do whatever you need to do. If you do not have control, you need to do one of two things. You need to be either reading where the ball is going, exactly what I'm telling you to do right now, or just covering your net, simple as that. And that's a huge part of your directional play in terms of ones. And right now you're making it drastically harder on yourself to actually make a play because of that. And so if we watch, you end up seeing you getting caught with that. You realize that you start going back, and now he has advantage over you. If he has a better hit there, that's a goal, right? He puts that on net, bing, bang, boom, he has a goal. He goes for an aerial. This is something you should abuse, and you do beautifully. Great job. Play this slow, walk into the net. Easy money. That's what we like to see. That's ones in a nutshell. right? Is being able to read the ball, to play a whiff, play a miss, play a trash shot, work it the other way. That is literally all it takes to really advance yourself in ones, and it all comes down to that car direction. So right now you see that he might be getting the touch, so you're turning out. That's exactly what you should be doing, right? Waiting, seeing what he got, and see you turn back in. This is exactly what you should be doing, because this actively, you can see the difference in control. So I'll literally tell you when. So right now he's in control, he's in control, he's in control, you're in control. So because he's missed, so now he's awkward. But when you're facing out, so once you turn back in, he's now back in control because he's on top of the ball. So that's that quick switch. He comes under, misses the next touch, so you're back in control, but by that point I see you, it's too awkward. You're like, I'm not gonna mess with that, I'm not gonna go too tight. Get your boost, make your play. But see how much space he has now, of like, he has all the time in the world to do whatever he wants to here, and so now he's able to set up a dribble and unfortunately get it right past you, right? And so like, we could talk a bit about your shadow defense here, like it definitely could use some work in terms of like goal line, and you really see it, and this is a big this would be a great thing for you to do. You can really see it when you watch from their perspective, right? So if we see he gets his dribble going, you see right now you're on goal side, so you're in a great position. He cuts to the inside. You're still kind of on goal sides, but you need to start moving to the right. You don't. And now he has all the time in the world just to full speed and push it by you, right? And so it's all about basically when someone's dribbling, we'll get it in perception again. As soon as they're on, so for instance, he's going this way. The goal side right now is to there. You want to be hovering in a little circle here if you're playing shadow defense, because where you are right now, if he is able to scoop under this ball at a higher level and give it a nice flick, wrong color. If he's able to give it a nice flick over top, you're going to get caught in the position that you're in. So you need to be careful of that. And you end up correcting for that. And we can keep doing this all the way down the field just so I can really show you. I'm taking my time at the beginning of the game right now so we can talk about some of the mechanics. Oh, sorry. I'll go back to him. Right now, you are on goal side. So if we look for it, we can see, and this comes back to the car placement. Even though you're not in that little circle I drew, you can see what I'm talking about. So we threw the ball. You have your net there, so it goes all the way to the net. Your little circle should be somewhere, like actually kind of like an oval now. It should be like there. But the nice thing is that you are currently facing into that circle so that you are in the most valuable position. If you're sitting here facing that way, what is that going to help you? You've put yourself in the perfect position. Don't lose this, right? Keep yourself there. And that's what shadow defense is, because you now know purely based on his car position that he's going to be cutting this way or faking, right? That's kind of his two options right now. So if we continue to watch, he cuts. The second he cuts, so you've driven past. You've done what you should. Now is where you're drifting and turning back in the other way. What I want to be seeing from you right now is, at this point, you should already be in almost a hard loop facing this other way to instantly get back in that shadowing circle again. And at this point, he's close enough to your net that I would just say you got to challenge at some point, or at least get a fake challenge in there. Right? Make him do something, because he has literally come from the inch of his goal line to almost your 18 without any pressure. He has just dribbled. He has not done anything crazy. He's not done anything. He is literally just walking in. But where you go wrong is you don't turn. So we keep going. You keep going straight, and by the time you turn, he's already at supersonic, balls at speed, and he can walk it right past you. And that's how you can see that bubble of shadow that needs to be kept at all times. But again, if we watch this and really break it through, right here you could have challenged. We understood it was a little chaotic. You didn't want to. That's fine. Right now he has literally no speed. So what I want to be seeing from you right now is because see, look how far away you are. I want you full speed at him right now. So like 30-ish boost, one flip and 30, or like 20. One flip and 25 boost will get you supersonic. So use your 25 boost right to him to then hard cut back the other way, because your goal is you're hoping that he's still in panic mode a little bit after trying to catch that ball. So he's just going to try and flick it. And then all you got to do is just come in under, catch it, bring it to the wall, bring it to the corner, bring it back to your end, whatever you want to do. You've forced him to make the first move as the attacker, right? Whereas right now you're giving him all the time in the world to make you make that first move, which is exactly what he catches you on, right? So if we continue along, you start going towards him, and you try the little fake challenge, but he doesn't fall for it. Right here, he is now in control, so you just need to play net. So he goes for the cut. This is where I want to see a little drift, right? Like the drifts tend to be so menacing because you look like you're hard stopping to go to them, when in fact you're keeping speed in the direction you're already going slightly. You're losing a bit of speed. But if you're drifting in right now, if you think about it, so if your car is moving to our left, your car's right, you're aiming towards the net. So you're already rotating in the way you should be while making it look menacing that he has to flick right away, when instead he actually ends up losing possession and can walk right by you. So a long-winded way of talking a bit about shadow defense, but that's what ends up burning you there. It's not speed. It's not anything like that. It's a little bit of decision making on when you should be fake challenging and when you should be literally challenging, and then the spacing of like you gave him his entire half to set up enough speed to start dribbling, cut, stuff like that. When if you go back and we watch that when he started, he was literally stationary dead center in front of his net, like 4 feet out from his net, that you could have been forcing him to be like and like flick the ball, because we've already seen him do that, right? And that's a huge ones is all mental, man. Like yes, people always say it's a great way to get your mechanics. 100% mechanics can carry you through ones. It's such a mental game. Like, you know me, I know at least GoBlue knows me, like I don't have pristine mechanics, but it's like my mind and my mental game is what helps me in ones. Let's talk about this. You go for your safe kickoff. Unfortunately, it's not very safe. You go too far to the right. You need to be landing on most maps. Tend to have a little line that goes on either side of the boost. You need to be landing in here almost always. There's very rarely are there kickoffs that you wouldn't be, especially on these straight diagonal ones, because you got to be hitting that Gucci spot on the ball, right dead center is where you got to be hitting on that ball. And now you're playing the correction game when he's just full force going at it, and you can see burns you because you're on the right side of the ball. Where's the ball going to go? Left to your side because you were slow. So literally the exact thing that we could have expected from that kickoff happens. Comes out. We need a really, really quick recovery here. You recover pretty well, but this is where you can't panic, right? This is what he did earlier. You don't need to jump at this. There's no rush. He lands. You know he doesn't have boost right now, so all you got to do is cut a couple pads, drive under this, roll it to the wall, right? If we look at none right now, one, he's going for your boost. You obviously don't know that, but literally all that we need to see happen right now is before the jump, assuming you haven't jumped yet, is you're driving in under this ball to catch it, to bring it over to this boost, because then you can go up the wall, you can cut back in and bring it on net. You could even play the pad game. You could get enough pads to do something with down this route if you want to go this way, but at least you're being more relevant. When we watch from this perspective, all you're doing is killing your own time that you have, collecting 2 pads, and then have to go back and now start to make a play. And same thing. See how see his spacing here? And actually, this is a great note that we can go on. Let's go back to player view. Watch his spacing here. So you get this touch. He comes in, and right away you've lost control of this ball. You see that? You are now on his goal side. So there's literally zero threat to his net right now, because the only way this ball technically can go is back at you. So you're gonna have to swoop back around the ball to get on goal side. He knows that. What's the first thing he does? Hard boost at you, because he knows there's literally zero risk in this challenge. Rifles it off the sidewall. This is where I want to see a good half flip. Nice. Full boosting. Where's the boost? Where's the boost? Oh, Mason, you recovered so well. And you see how he burns you for it, right? So you lose control. You're no longer on the side because you had panicked on that save, send it to the wall. Maybe it wasn't panic, maybe it was just you felt like you had to hit it. You didn't, right? And that's a huge part of this. It's like, if you can ever afford to not jump in ones, literally never jump. There's absolutely no point in jumping. So he wins the 50. You have a great half flip. You got to be boosted into this ball right now. Hard boost to this ball, but you break check and you wait, and he burns you, which breaks my heart. But that's okay. 2 things there, like we said. So your positioning, and you can see how he uses positioning well. He read your lack of control and challenged it. And then you had a great half flip, but then unfortunately just stopped boosting to it. Good challenge. I'm always on board with those. So this is what I'm talking about, giving up possession, right? So even though he has boost here, you have possession, right? So what I'm trying to get used to, and even for me right now, and this is not something I'd recommend trying yet, but take your time with it, see how it goes, play around with it, and so on. This is where I want to see you hard drifting to the right, going to this ball, and we'll draw it, meeting this here, so that then you can roll it. I feel like I'm clicking out colors, but they ain't working. Roll it back down to your end, so that you can secure, hopefully, oh my god, the colors. Hello? I keep clicking different colors and they're not working. There we go. Hopefully 2, but at least 1 boost to then turn back in. You now have boost and possession, right? Which is ideally the where you want to be in ones, regardless of field level, right? Like right now it may feel you're like ball's in his end, so we're good. But what you end up doing when you just turn and leave is that he then just gets possession and you've given up. Boost doesn't matter. He has control. And that's all ones is. You're going to keep hearing me say that word over and over again. So that you got to try your best to start getting used to controlling the ball to your own corner, which is literally never happens in any game mode except one. So it feels wrong until you start getting used to that. It's possession and control matter more than anything in this game mode, because that's where the best minds will beat the best mechanics, right? And so what we end up seeing instead is you driving past it, and see how he still has tons of space, right? Working, flick, and that was perfect, right? So even though I want you closer there, this is the outcome we want, right? So one little fake challenge here makes him flick, And now, boom, you have control, possession, and boost, right? So time. You catch it, great. Obviously, we want a little bit better of a catch. And see, he does the same thing. So you can see right away he's very good at this. He rarely challenges you here. He comes in and just waits. And so you just pass the ball to him instead, right? And this is what you need to work on a little more on your end. Oh, that felt like that should have been a demo. That's okay. Classic servers. And whereas he's quite good at not challenging. Whereas this time, see how he knows? He knows he can just get a little touch. No panic, no worry, no nothing. Oh, and the boost miss. So a lot of shit went wrong here, I'll be honest. A lot of things went wrong. So this is good, but you don't need to jump. This is what I'm talking about, jumping, right? He's not currently challenging this ball. You can see right away he drives back to net, right? He starts driving away. And this is nice. I tend to use my right stick a lot in ones because you have time to. So this is where I quickly throw that stick to the left and see exactly what he's doing. But there's no panic at all here. There's no worries remotely. The ball currently is slow rolling, and it's just going to go up a little bit on the wall. So it's just bouncing and then going to go up the wall like that. All I would be doing right now is slow driving here, grabbing it, and maybe going up, or maybe coming drifting around to then take the ball down, whatever that may be. But at least you're securing this boost so he doesn't have access to it, and you're staying close enough to the ball that he feels like he can't pressure it. But instead, what we end up happening, what ends up happening, or what we have, either or, is a jump that isn't needed, a missed touch, a missed boost, and a missed ball with a bump. And now this guy's got all the time in the world to rinse your boosts, rinse the ball, and very nearly a good recovery, but then he can just walk it into the net. So you can really see that positioning. You said you're slow. I haven't seen speed yet. Not even once have I seen speed be a concern yet. I'm seeing a lot of positional errors, a lot of lacking confidence, which is where you need to look. See that in a nutshell should be happening all the time. You flick back there with your right stick, and I love it. You click in that right stick, look behind you. Do that all the time. If you need to know what you need to do right now, your right stick is your savior, because now you know you can hit back to your end, turn around, make a play, do your thing with plenty of time. And now you should be able to get advantage of him. Nice try. Very close. Great 50. Collect your pads. See these little boost uses here. So this is a great play all in general. I want to see you full boosting the entire time here. I want to see you using it. But he challenges you. From his trajectory, right away, you know that he has possession, right? There's not even a question that he has possession right now. So he's going to be driving up the wall this way as the ball is currently rolling up like this, right? What do? You have 17 boost. You need to be back on net. You need to be goal side, like we were talking about to start shadowing. You have two options. Coming out this way to then take your pads all the way down to keep that number high. No boost needed. Use some flips, use some wave dashes, use things that you are good at to gain speed without wasting boost. Or you can do the exact same loop, basically all the way down, instead going to this pad and then playing ghost. It just depends on what he does with the ball. If he booms it right away, taking pads. If he takes his time, take his boost, because now he's boostless and has to do something with it. But instead, what we end up seeing is you using all your boost to go to the ball to then flip out to then get this pad and then awkwardly try to stop on it, right? There was a lot of boost usage there that really did not have to happen, and something to keep in mind. Or same thing, right? So we already know he panics. So right here, if you do one little spout of burst, almost like a head fake that you see in a lot of traditional sport, he pops this ball right away, and you just wait and you boom it over his head and take that away. You see he's boostless. He hasn't had to announce this whole time, right? He's the little 1-2-3 he's had there just to try to make a play, but when you're rushing into this ball, he feels like he's the king of the world and can do whatever he wants the entire time, right? So he takes your boost there. But good job. See, you don't jump here. Now you have time for boost. You have time to play the ball, and pressure is evaded, right? Which is really good. This is what I want to be seeing the whole time. But again, we're seeing a lot of extra boost usage when you're already supersonic, or when you don't need to be boosting to a ball. Unfortunate miss snare. That's not a huge deal. Good pop over. Doomsy dish. Oh, patience. And you go for the bump. So he's so stuck in his net right now. There's no need to rush this ball. I'm sure you're hitting yourself after this one, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But going on the wall here, one, serves you no purpose, right? At all, because your job is to score here. So you win this challenge beautifully. You're hoping to take his boost. So when you jump, I also just don't even think you should jump here, but all you'll be doing is taking his boost and looping back out, because the nice thing is if you loop back out, you can do one of two things. You can turn in and score, which was needed, or if he recovers beautifully, you're now playing shadow defense and can turn any time down the field that you need to, right? So you're creating a much more efficient system for yourself by doing this, when instead, when you do this, now you don't have a scoring opportunity, and you're at basically at the same level as he is in his own net, so it's just going to be a race for the ball in the middle to see who can come out, rather than being goal side, because I keep talking about goal side with you. And we can really, really see that of if you just turned earlier, but now you have to awkwardly try and go for like an inside shot. Nice try. I see the side flip attempt. That's exactly what you should have went for. I think that's a little ballsy, going for the hit there. Great wave dash out, but you see again how you've given him all this time. He's got boost, he's got ball, he's got the world on his shoulders, right? And so now where's the speed, right? This is where you need the speed. He just aerialed. By this point, you already know he missed. So why are you not using all 15 boost right now and a little diagonal flip to get to this boost, cut in, take the ball, and drive it right to his net? This man is lost, going hard into your corner right now. So he's doing exactly what I just called you out for last time. He's putting himself on the opposite side of his goal with you and the ball in the middle. So what does that mean? That means you have a wide open net to go wailing downfield right now to make that play, but you don't, right? And that really, really burns you here, because you see how much time you take. You're waiting, and now you get the touch, and then you get the boost, and he's already back on goal side, right? You didn't capitalize on the thing that he's burned you for, but you get a great flick and make a play out of it anyways, right? But we need to see, that's the first time speed has burned you, in my opinion, and that's the only one so far, and that just ends up being more of a confidence thing than anything. Much better kickoff. These plays are always back and forth. I'm not going to tell you either way. What I tend to do on these ones recently is I will actually kind of head fake and then get the boost and then come back around, because what my hope is that one of two things. Their player is going to come and he's going to see that I have possession, so then he's just going to go back to net worried and he's not going to get this boost, or he's going to rush this ball to try and get it past me, and since I've already head faked, I'm now going to be getting boost and ball and then being able to turn back in. I think it works beautifully when a ball is slow rolling like this, because what ends up happening instead is that you're boostless, he's boostless, and you're both just going to tickle the ball a bit with your noses here. And now he has boost, and you need to try and beat him, but then he can make a almost missed save. And he actually beats you and is going to work that back out the other way for a goal. So see what I mean about the risks of playing with no boost, which is funny because I always harp all the time that people need to play better with no boost, but there's ways to play with no boost in a smarter capacity rather than just playing for the sake of playing. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to go back to it, but that's kind of the main thing that I at least am seeing there. Good hit around. Great pressure, but the panic. You know what I mean? So he just touches this. So there's no rush to jump right now. Yes, that's a wide open net, so take the shot. But like you're in an awkward position and you end up just getting burned for it anyways. And he's able just to walk that back downfield and score again and make it a 3-goal game instead, right? So you're just giving away because of panicking rather than playing smart, safe, and collected, right? I think for me, the big thing I'm seeing right now is just a little bit of decision making. It's just when to be confident, when to be a monkey, you know, and rush like there. Like you don't need to rush. He hasn't come back yet, right? So like there's no panic there. Take your time on those. Do what you can. Interesting cut. Very, very ballsy cut, in my opinion. If you cut that, you better be the first person up to that ball because you're just saucing up a nice little pass on a silver platter for him. And lucky you do beat him, and you beat him well, and you recover even better, which is nice. But very, very risky ball, in my opinion. Good demo look. All about it. Oh, he just stopped playing. Okay. And yeah, that'll do it. Okay, cool. So some closing notes. So I guess for me, the main thing I'm seeing is like a big focus on a lack of confidence, if I may word that. A lot of your goals against, if we look, I guarantee we can find a moment when you are a very, very, very far away from the ball, and it burns you because of it, right? Of that you're not putting yourself close to the ball. You are actively watching him take control of the game rather than you taking control. That one should have been a demo anyways, and I was mad about that. But little things like that, right? Of that, I find a lot of times you're putting yourself in positions where you don't need to, or like jumping here when you don't need to, or little things like that. It's just there's a lot of like a feeling like you need to make the play when honestly just staying close is the only play you need to make, right? And we saw that a bit on defense earlier, and something that your opponent did quite well, right? And force you into panic flicks and into like a bit of panic mode. So that would kind of be my big note there, and my big takeaway, at least for you in ones, is equally slow it down as speed it up. I know that sounds so stupid, but play around a little more with what does a good challenge look like to you, right? And so often when I'm talking about challenging, my advice, and I'm sure you've already heard me say it a million times, is take a couple days and just play like a monkey, challenge everything, so you can start basing that out a bit. But I'm not seeing any fake challenges from you, and that's a big part of ones, something he did very well against you, and something you're gonna have to start learning, right? And so my advice for you actually wouldn't be as much be a monkey. My advice would actually be when you're shadowing, fake challenge like 40 times per game, just so you can see what works, what doesn't, obviously on specific people, but you can start to feel it a little more, right? And see how it looks and how it feels, and what's too close to the opponent, what's too far from the opponent, and things like that. And that would kind of be my big homework for you right now. Mechanically, speed, stuff all looked good. It was your decision making on when to use it, right? Which really kind of burnt you in this game. So that's kind of my ending notes. That's my closing notes there. I hope you took a little bit. Obviously, we only had the one replay this month. You said you'll send a couple next. But I'm really excited because you have gotten significantly better mechanically since we last spoke, and I'm really impressed with how you look here. So we just got to get the confidence there as well, right, is the big thing. So thanks as always for supporting, for everyone watching. Like I said, GoBlueMason, an absolute legend in the Ace Applica community. People bow in his presence, so I appreciate that he continues to support us the way he does, and I'm happy to support his Rocket League growth as well. So thank you for submitting the replay and being part of the Patreon tiers. I look forward to ones in the future, and we'll go from there. But thank you so much for watching. This has been another one of my replay analyses, and I will see y'all later. Peace.